19,000 kilograms of Domino's pizza sauce was rejected after testing positive for ethylene oxide, a pesticide and known carcinogen hiding in the mix.
This cardboard disc barely qualifies as food. One Domino's pizza hits you with over 44 industrial additives. The cheese isn't real. It's restructured phosphates holding grease together. The sauce, stabilized with dimethyl polysiloxane, a silicone-based anti-foaming agent used to keep industrial vats from bubbling over. Sourdough pizza was the cleanest by a mile, but this one checked for metal exposure, plastic transfer, and chemical load. Comment app to find safe brands.
3 McDonald's customers are suing the restaurant after claiming their famous McRib sandwich doesn't contain any pork ribs inside.
This barely legal meat is more processed than a Haribo. Unwanted scraps, trimmings, and sinew are pulverized into a pink slurry, then chemically glued back together with sodium phosphates and binders. That sludge gets drowned in a sauce made by heating corn syrup in caramel color until it sticks. And over a third of meat products in supermarkets follow a similar process. This brand was clean, but the pork came back the lowest ranking meat on the app. 60% processed, severe mineral residue warning. Comment app to scan for food that's actually safe.
Ice cream that doesn't melt?
That's not a coincidence, because a lot of ice cream on shelves isn't legally ice cream. It's classified as frozen dairy dessert.
These are the most engineered creams you feed your kids every day. First is Drumstick. It's literally bulked up vegetable fats, structure agents, and a pharmaceutical surfactant that disrupts the gut barrier. But Breyers crossed the line, failing to melt under heat tests, a known effect of gum-thickened formulas. But my worst mistake was scanning Cornetto, flagging a PFA risk, 18 contaminants, and a lack of real dairy, according to the app. Comment Exposer to scan for the safest brands.
Butter that contains 0% butter. Like it or not, but your favorite spread might not legally be allowed to define itself as butter.
This blood pressure block barely comes from a cow. It starts as liquid seed oil, whipped, hardened, and chemically locked into place with mono and diglycerides, so it spreads like dairy. Then palm fat is fused in to keep it shelf stable for months. Kerrygold Scan was mostly safe and clean, but Flora ranked dead last in the app. Several contaminations with severe arterial risk. Comment app to scan your food for contaminants.
3 major chocolate bars can no longer legally be called chocolate because they don't meet the cocoa threshold required by UK law.
And these are the fakest bars you eat every day. First is Toffee Crisp. Nestle stripped the cocoa below 20%, rebuilding it with binding agents and texture modifiers labeled as chocolatey coating. But even dirtier, Kit Kat Chunky was 75% wafer and filler to dilute contaminants, with Milky Bar the lowest on the Exposer app with 70% processing and plastic inside the chocolate itself. Comment app to scan food for safer brands.
Changes coming to the ingredients in your tortillas in the new year.
There is a new law that requires manufacturers to add folic acid. The goal is to decrease birth defects in children born to Hispanic women.
Folic acid is a Trojan horse for something so much worse. That label gets padded with DATEM and synthetic fat binders, forcing the dough to stretch, bend, and survive industrial handling. Then soaked in spoilage suppressants so mold never shows up, turning a simple wrap into ultra-processed sludge. I fell to my knees after scanning it. Preservative stress, ingredient stacking, red plastic contamination warning. Comment app to expose food with the Exposer scanner.
Campbell's Soup is facing a lawsuit after audio leaked of the food giant's VP admitting to bioengineered ingredients.
Bioengineered meat? I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer, do you?
This fake soup is a straight-up early grave in tin. Before it even hits the can, the meat is cooked into a slurry. Starch and seed oils forced together with sodium phosphate, a calcium disruptor that hardens arteries over time. Less than 2% of this can contains real chicken. If you scanned this yourself, you'd see carcinogenic risk and 17 contaminations in a single can. Comment app to scan any food with the Exposer app.
World's first ice cream made with plastic. You heard it right. This version of the sweet treat is actually actually made from the same materials found in plastic bottles.
Magnum isn't plastic. It's even worse. This fake cream is diluted, stripped, then rebuilt. Guar gum, mono and diglycerides, and artificial vanilla. But the real problem is carrageenan. Researchers literally use it to intentionally injure guts in lab experiments. Häagen-Dazs scan was clean, but Magnum, lowest score on the app. Severe heavy metal contamination and carcinogenic risk. Comment app to scan your food for contaminants.
This box of Fruit Loops, it's colored naturally with watermelon, blueberry, and carrot juice. This is the US version. It contains 4 different artificial food dyes.
This cancer box thrusts you with over 59 sugar cubes. The front reads, no artificial colors, but inside is BHT, an additive pulled straight out of petroleum, mixed with the dyes, and you're literally eating a carcinogenic preservative linked to tumor growth. Exposure found TBHQ in the coating oil, a second petroleum chemical tied to DNA damage. Comment app to scan your food and find safer brands.
The FDA today banning a controversial red dye found in so many foods
because of 2 studies that showed high levels caused cancer.
This strawberry milk is 0% strawberry, just milk lubed with carcinogenic red dye, then masked with flavor systems so the color doesn't fall apart. But even worse, they went after kids. Baby Pouch was positive for 9 synthetic additives, and it doesn't even stop there. Exposure app found green S inside the mix, banned in multiple countries for interfering with brain development. Comment Exposure to scan food and find safer brands.
A British court ruled Chobani can't call its yogurt Greek due to the hormone-disrupting chemicals lab tests found inside the yogurt.
Chobani is straight up birth control in a tube. The label says only natural ingredients, but dig 1 layer deeper and you'll find DEHP, an industrial lubricant that reduces fertility and is toxic for your liver. But it doesn't stop there. Exposure app flagged perfluorooctanoic acid migrating from the cup, a cancer-linked chemical that is not recommended at any dose. Comment app to scan and expose any food.
Millions of people will be cooking Christmas dinner this weekend. In the study, 2 roast chicken dinners were cooked, and plastic content was tested in a lab.
You'd be eating about 10 grams of plastic. That's the equivalent of 2 of these.
The plastic isn't the problem, but this is the biggest Christmas trap. First is cooking in sunflower oil. When heated, it oxidizes fast, flooding your meat with inflammatory compounds that put stress on your arteries. But worse is the wrong chocolate. Over 80% of bars are contaminated with PFAs, which build up in your organs and don't get flushed out. This one was clean, but the Lindt scan came among the most contaminated on the app, flagged for heavy metals and microplastics. Comment app to find the safe brands.
A federal judge refused a request by Kraft Heinz to dismiss a class action lawsuit accusing the food giant of lying about its artificial preservatives.
And that's not the only case. These 3 products lie to you every single day. First is Himalayan salt. It doesn't even come from the Himalayas. Most of it's mined in Pakistan, chemically identical to cheap rock salt. Even worse is wasabi. It's horseradish, green dye lubed with preservatives. Real wasabi is almost never used because it's too expensive. And the biggest scam? Your goddamn ketchup. The scan found this was a direct derivative of color and acid used in processed fuels. It even flagged for heavy metals and 5 risk warnings. Comment app to scan your food and find safe brands.